Good morning, Zimbabwe. Magali Murie, Zimbabwe. San Bonani. Thank you so much for joining. I know we always begin by saying good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and also we should be saying have a good Easter, or are we having a good Easter Saturday? But to be honest with you, there's nothing good about this afternoon. There's nothing good about this morning. There's nothing good about this Easter holiday. How can there be anything good when we have our young men, Makomborero Haruzivishe, in prison right now and awaiting sentence on Tuesday? And we all know that Makomborero is not a criminal. We all know that Makomborero is not guilty. We know that Makomborero is a good, honest young man, good, honest Zimbabwean citizen whose only crime is to ask for a better livelihood in Zimbabwe, whose only crime is to fight for the rights of all Zimbabweans, to fight for the rights of the youth in particular. And that's why Makomborero is incarcerated. So definitely there cannot be anything good about these Easter holidays. There cannot be anything good about this evening, about this afternoon, or about this morning. So we want to discuss this issue and continue to make noise, as much noise as we can on Makomborero Haruzivishe until Tuesday. We have to make the most noise, amplify our voices as Zimbabweans, and register our utmost disgust to the regime for once again weaponizing the courts, a public institution, against a citizen. I'm joined here by my guest, Advocate Masiye, is our branch chairperson here in North America. And I have a daughter of the soil, an activist par excellence, Chenai, Zimbabwe, Yadzoka. That's what she calls herself. Welcome, leader, Advocate Masiye. Please take a few minutes to greet our viewers and listeners.
Thank you, Chief. Thank you very much. It's good to be here. Though not so good as you highlighted because of the circumstances that have befallen one of our, comrades in Zimbabwe. It's quite unfortunate that the state continues to use, a lawfare to attack, civil rights. So I'm glad to be here to be discussing this very important issue with you today. Thank you.
Advocate, I hope you're not wearing a Chelsea jersey like me. Even though we have been beaten today, we still wear our jerseys. Those were the Chelsea family, the blue family,
Yeah.
blue home and away, Dimbare in Zimbabwe, Dimbare here in the diaspora as well. It's blue for life.
Yeah.
Leader Chenai, please go ahead and greet our viewers and listeners.
Hello, viewers. Thank you, Chief, for having me on your program this evening or afternoon, wherever people are. Again, it's we come together really in sorrow following the conviction of Mako. This was just a devastating outcome that he's been convicted. It's just really, really heartbreaking. It's soul destroying. It's extremely sad for the young people of Zimbabwe, not just this generation, but for generations to come. So it's good. It's always good to see you and spend time with your viewers, but certainly not under these circumstances.
Yes, certainly not under the circumstances. Let's give our viewers and listeners here a background of what is going on Friday. Was it on Friday or Thursday? The magistrate court set, and it was being presided by Judith Taruvinga, was the magistrate who found Makomborero Haruzivishe guilty on 2 counts. One is for inciting public violence, and the other one is for resisting police arrest. And let us also not forget that Makomborero is still awaiting judgment in other cases that involve kidnapping and is it locking the gate, whatever charges they're trying to bring up. You remember the Impala case when Makomborero went and locked the gate with other youth so that they could get to the bottom of the kidnapping of Tawanda Muchehiwa, and he is also being charged on those counts. But for this case, Advocate Masiye, Tawanda Makomborero Haruzivishe is being charged or was convicted or found guilty on inciting public violence and resisting police arrest. But his lawyer, Kosa Mngube, from the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, is saying there is no case. Makomborero is not guilty. Makomborero is innocent. He is being convicted on frivolous charges, and the state is basing its case on circumstantial evidence. Your take on that as a legal expert and also as a human rights lawyer?
Yes, Chief. I do agree with my brother Kosam on the issue of the use of circumstantial evidence to convict, because in every case, especially when you're talking about criminal cases, the evidence should be beyond reasonable doubt that the accused person is committed an offense. So if ever there's at least 1% chance that the accused person is not committed the crime, he should not be convicted because there is doubt. So using circumstantial evidence is basically a situation where you're not using evidence at all, because that is not hard evidence. And as a court, you should basically lean in favor of liberty and give the accused person the benefit of the doubt. But I don't think in this situation that is the case. As we know, these charges, as you correctly highlighted, they are frivolous charges. They are politically motivated, and as they are politically motivated, there are too many incentives for the judicial system to lean its judgments in favor of of the pressure that they will be receiving. And basically the accused person, in this case an MBC activist, would basically suffer the consequences. So it's quite sad that we as Zimbabwe have gotten to such a stage where justice is not seen to be done, where justice is just a word in books, but it is basically a situation where the ruling party or the people who, weighing or the pressure on the judicial system get their day. So it's quite sad indeed, and I believe that if the High Court takes a second look at the evidence and also at the proceedings in the magistrate court, Mako will likely be found not guilty.
Well, thank you very much, Advocate, for that glimpse of hope that you are giving us, that this decision can still be overturned if lawyer Kosam Mngube goes on to give his evidence of circumstantial evidence. It's good news, but how are the chances? Before I go to Chenai, what are the chances, looking at what is going on in Zimbabwe right now and the charges that Marco is facing?
Well, to tell you the truth, the charges that Marco has been convicted of are, especially the public violence, inciting public violence. It's one of the most serious charges you can get in the criminal code. Yes. So it's so sad to be convicted of that, especially given the situation or the volatile nature that was happening at that point in time. So public violence is one of the serious charges that you can get. And also his conviction also comes probably at a time that is not convenient, in that he's still facing other charges that are pending in the same court. And there's a likelihood that the prosecution will use that as an aggravating, aggravating issues in sentencing, in getting a stiffer sentence, which is probably custodial in this issue. So that's how it stands at this point in time. But I wouldn't want to talk about the actual proceedings that happened in court, because I was not privy to that proceedings. But given the statements by his his lawyer, Brother Kosam, if circumstantial evidence was used to convict, uh, there is a chance that the High Court will overturn that decision. So basically, the High Court will basically deal with what is on the transcript in the magistrate courts. Whatever was said in the magistrate courts, whatever evidence was put forward in the magistrate courts, is what the High Court will basically look at. They will not look at new evidence when it comes to the appeal, because that is not their job. So basically, if the court had no any other evidence and based its decision on circumstantial evidence, I believe that they could be another positive, ruling given such situation.
Wow. Okay. Let me bring on Chenai here. Chenai, you are hearing what the advocate is saying, but I also want your reaction to the conviction of Makomborero. I know you are very invested in the Zimbabwean youth. What do you feel right now?
It's extremely disappointing for us as a people, even if we want to revisit our culture, our tradition, we say kuti mwana asingachema anofira mubereko. And here we are, whereby when young people try to express their discontentment, when they try to say, we are not comfortable, this is not right, we want to know what happened to Tawanda Mchehiwa. Next thing, you're being arrested and convicted for inciting public violence. What kind of society are we bringing up whereby the young people cannot express themselves? They cannot exercise their democratic rights. It's also an indictment on our courts. Here we are with the mantras of Zimbabwe is open for business, blah, blah. But businessmen will not come to a country where the courts cannot be trusted to act fairly, to be just, They cannot do that. No one is willing ever to take that risk. So it's embarrassing. It's heartbreaking. It's very, very disappointing. And kana makambonzwa kunzi kujairirwa ndizvo zvachaita tajairirwa to the fullest extent of the word. It doesn't get dhingirini hamungajairirwe kupfuura pakanaiso. I mean, it's abuse anywhere in the world. There's no way that you can try and muzzle a young person. You muzzle your child because you say to them, "Mogataura," and I will not validate basement. If you speak up, I'm going to lock you up for speaking up as a child. What kind of culture promotes that? What kind of parentage is comfortable with that? We should all be very, very uncomfortable that an innocent person has been convicted and has been convicted for speaking up. We should everyone who has any interest in Zimbabwe should be feeling very, very uncomfortable at this point, because you don't know where this thing is going to end. How far, at what point are we going to say, are you immune? If somebody steals from you today and you take them to court, are you going to trust the court to act in a just way? If they cannot be just in such an obvious situation, an obvious case, I mean, it's honestly, it's ludicrous. You go with last number, you can't, we just, and this is what we are seeing, is that these things are starting to escalate. The precedence that is being set is starting to change. It's getting worse and not better. Even as we are speaking, we know that the other two activists, Joanna and Cecilia, right now are in jail for a social distancing crime. I mean, what the hell? What is this? What is this thing that the government is trying to do where young people are not allowed to speak? You are not allowed to speak up peacefully. You know, you're not allowed to express your discontentment. You're not allowed to, they're just trying to muzzle us, which is not right. And us as everyone, not just Zimbabweans, anyone with an interest in Zimbabwe should be very, very concerned at this point.
Yeah, thank you so much, Chenai. Not only concerned, but also angry, like you put it.
Yeah.
We should all be angry by what is happening. An indictment to Makomborero is an indictment to all the youth in Zimbabwe. In fact, it is imprisonment of all democrats and peace-loving Zimbabweans. If we see and if we allow Makomborero Haruzivishe to go to jail on Tuesday without us doing our best, without us protesting to the world, without us making the Zimbabwean government know that we are not happy about what they are doing, without us making the international community know that this is what is going on in Zimbabwe, would have done a great disfavor to freedom and democracy in Zimbabwe. We need to make as much noise as possible. Before I go to Advocate Masiye and ask him about the precedents that happened with one of the leaders, the gender secretary for Atus, who was convicted. Mai Chisiri was actually convicted of charges similar to Makomborero. But when people made noise, when Zimbabweans came out of their houses and protested, and some protested online, she was not sentenced. And right now, Mai Chisiri is out. But before I ask Advocate to respond to that, let me welcome our viewers here on ZimEye YouTube and on ZimEye Facebook, and also to our listeners on Change Radio. We say welcome and thank you so much for joining us. But let's also attend to our viewers here who are writing on our comment section. And the Hajimunemo, my people, Chamisa Chete Chete, Faith Katla, Veronica Jokora, mwene wazo, paita mwene wazo, panapa, tutombo mbera, Makadi Vandras, Easter Namo Nyakupinda, free our Makomborero. Yes, Makomborero deserves to be freed. Charles Z. Mabunu, and free Mako, his incarceration will trigger a serious unrest in Zimbabwe. Is this another Sarajevo incident that we have been waiting for? There have been so many Sarajevo incidences in Zimbabwe, but have we taken advantage of them? They convict Makomborero. Zimbabwe should erupt. Zimbabwe should burn. That's how it should be. Veronica is saying free Mako again. And then Kevin Mushayavanu, free Makomborero. Faith Cutler, I'm celebrating Chelsea losing to good old West Brom. Oh my goodness, Faith, you're no longer my friend. If you are celebrating the defeat of Chelsea, you're no longer my friend. But anyway, that's what happens in games of soccer. You win some, you lose some. That was our first loss in as many games. Bill Raymond Mudzingwa Zanto Brass inoda sniper ne judiciary yacho inoda ma snipers jayo. Yeah, you're right. I totally agree with you on that. But moving on, Advocate Masiye, what do you make of what is going on right now? If you take into consideration what happened to Mai Chisiri, Atu's leader, secretary for gender, she was actually convicted, and then eventually she was not sentenced. Was it because of the noise that the people make? Does this help? Do you think if people protest, if people make as much noise as they can, we can still possibly save Makomborero?
Yes, Chief. This conviction itself it goes down to to the core of denigrating fundamental freedoms, and people should make noise as much as possible, because that is the advocacy that we need to see in Zimbabwe. people should not just look at it as another conviction and life goes on. This thing can happen to anyone who wants to speak against the government. So we want people to really come out, castigate the arrest of freedoms, and make sure that their voices are heard, not only in Zimbabwe but all over the world. So to me, I would definitely advise people to go out there, support Mako, attend or the hearing, the sentencing, and so forth, because that is very critical in showing the discontent by the people of this unjust ruling. But well, when it comes to avoiding sentencing, in my time as a lawyer, I never came across situations where one was convicted then was not sentenced, because that is basically how the law should work. When you're convicted, you have to be sentenced. What can happen is that you might be convicted, then you'll be sentenced to a non-custodial sentence. Probably you might be given a community service. You might be given a fine, and in rare circumstances, a warning. But in this situation, the charges for public violence and that for resisting arrest, they've got minimum sentencing guidelines. So basically, it's a fine or imprisonment to 2 years, not more than 10 years, for both offenses. So basically, at the moment, Marco will be facing like at least 20 years in jail if he's given the maximum sentences. But well, basically, it's a situation where people have to speak out, because the less we speak out, the more this happens to everyone. Because this is not something that just begins in the courts of law. It's something that is got roots in the executive itself, where you have the ZANU PF colluding with other branches of government, especially the police, to attack political members, political people identified with the political with the MDC. So it's something that we need to make that aware, make the world aware of what is happening. So the advocacy around making noise, the hashtags, attending courts, writing about castigating these political motivated prosecutions and persecutions and judgments. It's something that is well expected in a democratic society like what we perceive ourselves in Zimbabwe. So I do agree with you, Chief, that there is a lot of noise that needs to be done, and that noise will basically yield something which might be positive in the sentencing. He might probably not be sentenced to all those maximum periods. He might, who knows? But what we don't want to do is to keep quiet and make this like and behave like it's a normal thing that is happening in Zimbabwe. There's nothing normal about this, about these cases in courts and in their arrests.
Yeah, I want Chenai to respond to what you were saying, but Chenai, Makomborero has been one of those brave young people in Zimbabwe. He has been an epitome of bravery. So, what effect do you think his conviction will have on the young people in Zimbabwe? Are we going to see young people running away from politics, getting afraid? Of course, we know that the government is trying to do exactly that. Frighten everyone, make everyone see that if you oppose the government, if you talk about what the government is doing wrong, if you criticize the government at any time, this is what will happen to you. It's a message that they are sending to Zimbabweans. What do you think this is going to do to youth activism in Zimbabwe?
There's obviously the government intends for this to be the thing that will silence more dissenting voices and actually, force us into a corner where young people can no longer speak up. In fact, anyone can no longer speak up, because the consequences of doing that will be obviously imprisonment and being falsely accused of inciting violence. But here's a thought, in Zimbabwe, I know people say this saying, I think we've gone past that point. There is enough suffering in Zimbabwe. If you were to walk into certain areas, for sure, in Zimbabwe right now, people are complaining. It's a matter of who is complaining loudest. Not which people are going to stop. Because you just by opening your mouth and saying what you did today, you're going to be discontent and you're going to express that. So the idea that the government has that they can silence the people, when your stomach is hungry, it will rumble. It doesn't care. It doesn't care. And this is what we are going to see this happening in Zimbabwe. And it's a clear message to the government to say, you know what, you might think that this is what you're trying to do. You're not going to achieve it. And I hope that the people of Zimbabwe will continue to speak up, to defend, not just to defend Mako, but to defend your own individual freedoms. You have a right to speak up. And the moment that somebody walks up to you and tries to take that away, then we need to send them a clear message to say, this is not going to happen. We have a right to speak up, and we will not be made afraid to the point where we can't speak up. And in any case, we can't not speak up. It's so bad. It's so bad. I was listening to a video the other day where there were parents talking about how the whole street, the whole neighborhood, young people are now just spending their time doing drugs, right? You can't say to those people, stop talking, stop complaining. It can't happen. We've gone past that point. Our stomachs are hungry. They will rumble, and they will rumble louder the more hungry we are. So this idea that you can muzzle young people by putting them in prison, it needs to stop, because it's not going to happen. What is inciting the people of Zimbabwe is the hunger, the economic deprivation. And this is going to just get worse. It's worsened by the global pandemic, and things are getting worse. We are on a free fall in down south, it's going completely the wrong direction. So this idea that they can arrest 2 people here, 1 people there, do this, it's not changing. The only thing that can happen is if our lives get better. Then people will stop complaining, So it's extremely sad for Mako. It's extremely sad for us as a people.
I think Chenai's network is playing around there, but I know.
If you lost me.
Yeah, we lost you for a minute. You can go ahead, Chenai, and round up. We lost you for a minute. Okay, your network is playing around, but while she's getting your network fixed, let me take this opportunity to welcome our leaders here at Tsikwane National Panel, Leader Barbara Tanyanyiwa, our Women Assembly Secretary for Communications. We are missing you here. You are supposed to be here. And Honorable Yepimo Chidziva, our Member of Parliament, and also Secretary for Rural Mobilization. Thank you so much for being here. Organizing provincial, organizing secretary Bamada kwa America Muno. Thank you so much for being here. And we will not fear to shout if that ZANU-PF is devilish against its people. My sister Delina Mchambizi ku UK, Zimbabwe is in a crisis for real. Please let's share this video so that as many people as possible can join in the solidarity of Makomborero. Johannes Muunde Mnangagwa must respect freedom of speech. Yes, people are supposed to speak. We are supposed to have that freedom to express ourselves. Kana tine zhara sekutaura kwanga uchita Chenai, tunofana kukwanisa kutaura kuti tine zhara munhu usingasungwe. It's very sad kuti vanhu vari kusungirwa kuti vari kutaurirei kuti zvinhu hazvina kumira zvakanaka munyika. Ismail Alvarenga hanzi chiefs must love everyone as custodians of our African culture. Ko ndiani vandataura kuti handisi kuda nhai Ismail. I love everyone. I just don't love people who kill other people, who suppress other people's rights, who shrink other people's freedoms. But otherwise, everyone who does right by me, we are good. Isaac Piri, it's time to make noise and seek the release of those who were illegally arrested. I wonder if it's possible to approach the United Nations Security Council. That's one of the things that we'll be discussing at the end of our program, what we can do as citizens, as Zimbabweans. We'll be seeking guidance from Advocate Masiye to give us directions as to what we can do to help the situation. We will not just come here and talk. We will come here and also try to provide solutions. Good evening, Chief Svosve and the team. Mapurisa in Zimbabwe are being paid bribes by the criminals who are selling drugs in young people in the locations as vanopedzera simba kuma political activists. Tendai Chimbetete, chairman weku-Zambia, makadi muri bwanji ku-Zambia uko. This time we have to make ED be aware that no to one-party state, definitely. ZANU-PF has my vote 2023 kusvika makutipawo mari ku-MDC. Murikuda kuita zvemari anatanaka maposa. Isu hatiite zvemari, isu tinoita zveugwaro hwevanhu, tinoita zve-freedom yevanhu, tinoita zve-mararamiro evanhu. Imi kana muchida mari, kana muchida zvezvigaro, like President Chamisa said, isu hatiite zvezvigaro, tinoita zveugaro hwevanhu. If you want, yes, stay. If you want that, then yeah, you are good in ZANU-PF where you are at Tanaka Maposa. It's your democratic right to support ZANU-PF that is killing people, that is arresting people arbitrarily. It's your right to do that. But let me go to Advocate Masiye. Advocate, what the Zimbabwean government is doing, that they arrest people arbitrarily, the way they are doing, they convict people who are not criminals, and they call them criminals, and they find them guilty. Like you rightly said, these issues, these cases are discussed, prior to them going to court. These are political decisions that are influenced by Emmerson Mnangagwa. And we have Emmerson Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF going about, talking about Zimbabwe being open for business. How do you think this is going to affect ZANU-PF and their policy of open Zimbabwe open for business? Are we open for business? Are we going to have investors coming in a country where there's no rule of law, where anyone can be arrested and convicted, without due diligence? Is this good for the ZANU-PF government?
Well, Chief, what I can say...
on mute, Advocate.
Can you hear me? Yeah. Well, Chief...
Somehow you are still on mute, Advocate.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
What's going on? Yeah, we can't hear you.
I'm not on mute.
I can hear Advocate. I can hear him.
Oh, okay. Please go ahead. So maybe it's me. Go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. One thing I can say is that Zimbabwe is actually open for business of violating human rights. That's what it is open for. And its mantra that it's free for investment of business, goes against its what's happening on the ground. Just a few days ago, Zimbabwe was actually ranked as one of the most dangerous cities, countries with the highest number of human rights violations. And clearly this is not good for the generality of Zimbabweans. That's why we say right now, just to keep quiet and not make noise about this is actually doing a disservice to yourself and the country. one thing that you actually talked about, that these cases sometimes are discussed somewhere. It's something that one would tend to believe, because the president himself has actually came out in the open and say that the judiciary belongs to them, to ZANU-PF, the military belongs to ZANU-PF, the police are ours. So it's something that is there to see, and it's obvious that every institution of government, it is captured by ZANU-PF. So it's something that goes against the tenets of good governance. Because in a normal situation or in a normal democracy, you would expect that the executive should be independent from the judiciary, and the judiciary should be independent from the parliament and all that stuff. But what ZANU-PF and Mnangagwa are trying to do, they're trying to make all these entities to be, like merged into one bowl, which is run by ZANU-PF, more like a cartel. So there's no way that you can actually go right now where ZANU-PF has no influence. And that is not good for democracy. That is not good for any country, because you won't have, because at the end of the day, what suffers are the civil rights, and what suffers is the constitution itself. Because the constitution is clear that there are fundamental rights that need to be respected. There are certain rights that need to be respected. For you to have a healthy nation, you should have people speaking out freely against government policies. You should have a healthy opposition, which is putting pressure on government policies and making sure that it holds those in the power accountable. But if you don't have that, then it becomes a situation where you don't even have a country running. It becomes a banana republic. So if you look at what has been happening, like in the past, this seems like it's something that has been crafted, by Mnangagwa and ZANU-PF, that they want to achieve probably in the future. At first, you have the recalling of MPs. What are they trying to do? They're trying to destroy the parliamentary independence that is there in parliament, and they don't want any opposition in parliament in case they bring their draconian laws into parliament, like what they are debating right now, which is the patriot bill. So they want to destroy that angle, which is one of the most critical sector within a democracy, and it is supposed to be independent for a healthy democratic society. So they want to destroy that. Now, the second port of call is the judiciary. The president himself said that the judiciary belongs to them. What have we been seeing right now in the judiciary? We've been seeing people being unjustifiably denied bail, especially those belong to the opposition. You see, people who steal tons of gold and attempt to leave the country with the kilograms of gold, they are given bail. But someone who speaks out and say, I'm hungry, people are hungry, we want free and fair elections, we want people to be fed equally, we want jobs, he's being arrested and he's being taken to jail. So this is more like trying to kill that sector, which should be independent, which should be the judiciary, which should be independent and holding the executive to account. So they are killing that. So they want to merge and amalgamate all these three tenets of government into one ZANU-PF. So when it becomes one, you don't have a country to run. It's a republic. It's a banana country, and it's being run by a cartel belonging to ZANU-PF. So this is a situation where people need to speak out. It's not just about the MDC. It's about the generality of Zimbabweans. It's about our children. It's about our grandchildren who are coming up. It's about everyone. It's not about ZANU-PF or MDC. It's about saving the country. So people need to speak out. They need to challenge all this and make sure that such decisions that come about, where innocent people like Makomborero is being persecuted for just speaking out, is ridiculous. Totally ridiculous, Chief.
Thank you so much, Advocate, for making it clear there what is happening. Like we said earlier, and like you rightly said. Thank you so much. Sorry, I was listening on another gadget here. Well, what you're saying, leader, is very, very clear here. That some people might be celebrating, thinking that it's Makomborero or it's the MDC Alliance, because Makomborero is a member of the MDC Alliance National Youth Executive Committee. And then they think it's MDC that is being fixed. There are some who are even using words like MDC Agadziriwa size. This is beyond MDC, folks. This is beyond us as a party. This is about Zimbabwe. This is about democracy. This is about our freedom. If ZANU-PF arrests all MDC alliance, if the ZANU-PF are successful in destroying the MDC, in which I know they will not be successful, which I know they will not be able to do, but let's say they manage to do that. Who do you think they're going to come after that? After they declare a one-party state, they will be coming after you. Anatanaka Maposa, Murukuya Panapa, Mchiti, Pwetere ZANU-PF. They will be coming after you. They will start arresting those that will be speaking out within ZANU-PF. So when Makomborero is being arrested, it's not an arrest for Makomborero. When Honorable Joanna Mamumbe is being arrested or indicted or convicted, it's not a conviction for Honorable Joanna Mamumbe or Comrade Chauya or Netai Marova. It's a conviction to the people of Zimbabwe. It's a conviction to democracy and freedom, in Zimbabwe. So we cannot say this is an MDC thing. This transcends the MDC as a party. It's about ourselves. It's about our children. It's about our grandchildren. And if we don't stand up, if we don't do anything saying this is an MDC thing, then you see what will happen. These are very, very bad seeds that are being sown by ZANU-PF. And they will end up affecting everyone, including those that are in ZANU-PF, including Iwewe and Tanaka Maposa Urukunyora Pana. This will come to bite you. You remember these words when ZANU-PF comes after you. And they will do that. They are already doing that. They are already killing each other within ZANU-PF. Look at all the people that helped Mnangagwa during the coup. They've all been eliminated. So this is not just for the MDC or for the opposition or for civic society. This affects everyone. Those who want to call, we are left with a few minutes. You can call on our number 850-559-6287 so that you can give us a few words. But I'm seeing Chenai hasn't managed to come back, but I'm going to ask our advocate to just give us some solutions. What can we do as Zimbabweans to make sure that Makomborero doesn't go to jail? What steps can we take, particularly us who are in the diaspora? And of course, those that are in Zimbabwe as well. What can we do between now and Tuesday to save Makomborero?
Yes, Chief. What people need to do right now is make sure that it is clear to the powers that be that if you injure one, you injure all. We should show solidarity to Makomborero and attend and fill out those courts and demonstrate if we have to, and make sure that we hold vigils at those courthouses until we get that sentencing, which I hope will be not so harsh. And the other thing is that we need to make the world know what we are suffering from in Zimbabwe. The ZANU-PF government is going out there that it's open for business, but at the same time, it's in clear and outright war with its own people. We need to make sure that the world knows about that. And right now, I know Mako is being represented by Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, and I believe someone had asked that can you approach the United Nations with this? Well, there's a special rapporteur for human rights defenders, and I believe through his lawyer and also through the party, we could actually do that and make sure that a communication is sent to this rapporteur who happens to be part of the United Nations, and to make sure that all this is documented and it is well known to the international community, where Zimbabwe sometimes tries to find refuge. So we need to scale up the advocacy, open all those hashtags, share about what's happening right now, and also put out all those views that we have about what's happening to Marco, and how we feel about the judgment, so that people actually know what's happening. So right now it's an issue of people realizing that this is not only an attack on the opposition, it's an attack on every citizen, and it's an attack on the youth. And when the government now comes for the youth, what is it trying to do? It's trying to silence that voice, that is trying to show that we need things to change. So we need people to speak up, and we need the youths to come out and protest against this, because this government is now trying to kill the future by arresting the youth of today who are speaking out. And Marco is just a young person, and imagine if he's given 20 years in jail. By the time he comes out, his life and his future would have been killed. So it's something that we need to fight tooth and nail for, and people should come out and speak out and hold this government to account.
Leader Barbara, welcome to the program. I know you're coming later. We are just about to finish. Chiva Mangoro Sakura Nekuzunza as we round up.
Thank you so much, Chief. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Zimbabwe. I don't know whether I'm clear today, Chief. Lingabe lichona njani mthwakazi omuhle. Chief, usithanda ukuthi sibonge u-Advocate Masiye lo Chenai bengilalele uyazi bayibeke sobala indaba kaMakho. Thina lathi siyayengezelela Chief sisithi uMakho akalacala. uMakho ngumntwana olentshukuntshu yokufuna ukubona iZimbabwe ikhululeka, ngumntwana ofuna ukuthi ihulumende ayenze lokho akuthembisayo ngama-elections, ngumntwana ozwa ubuhlungu ngokukhwela kwentengo yama-school fees ema-universities ezikolo, ngumntwana ozwa ubuhlungu ngabazali bakhe abangaholiyo, abahola imali engakwani lutho, ngumntwana othakazelela ikusasa entsha, obeliever in the youth, obeliever in the young, ngumntwana ofuna ukubona ilizwe leZimbabwe lithuthuka Chief. So thina sizwa ubuhlungu kakhulu ukuthi uMakho usezagwetshwa, egwetshelwa ukutshengisela amalungelo akhe njengemzimbabweni. I-constitution yeZimbabwe iclear Chief, iyatsho ukuthi silamalungelo okukhuluma izinto esizifunayo, silamalungelo okutshengisela, silamalungelo ukuthi sifake uhulumende lowo into task, ukuthi uhulumende ayenze izinto eziqondileyo. Ngizwile uMasiye ekhuluma esithi icala likaMakho, indlela elathethwa ngayo basebenzisa abazange besebenzise ubufakazi obugcweleyo obungayenza ukuthi uMakho agwetshwe. So thina sithi sizaqhubekela phambili sikhuluma Chief, sikhankasa ukuthi uhulumende lowo akabona ukuthi abatsha bavunyelwa ukuthi ba-exercise ama-rights abo, ngoba thina sibona ukuthi abalacala. Ngiyasekela okukhulunywe nguMasiye ukuthi abantu kabaphume ngobunengi Chief, bahambe ekhoti, bayegcwala emakhoti. Njenga isikhathi lesiyana this flag laphana u-Even Mawarire efuna ukugwetshwa. Look at what people did to Even, i-support ayitholayo. If that kind of support is given to Marco, uMakho will not be sentenced. But if we keep quiet, uMakho will be sentenced. Our lives begin to end if we keep quiet about things that matter. So Mako matters. Mako is one of us. We are all Mako. I am Mako. You are Mako. We are all Mako. So we are saying that Mako should not be sentenced because he is innocent. There are so many criminals out there that are walking scot-free. We want justice for Mako because Mako is not a criminal, Chief.
Yes, definitely. Mako is not a criminal. Mako is a victim. Mako is only trying to fight for his livelihood and the livelihood of many youth, and indeed the livelihood of many Zimbabweans. He is not a criminal. He should not be charged. He should not even be spending a day in jail because he did not commit any crime. It's not a criminal offense to speak out. It's not a criminal offense to tell the government that it is doing wrong by the students, by the youth of Zimbabwe. There's nothing wrong with that. Here in America and in the United Kingdom, you even tell the president the F word. They tell the president what is going on, that he is weak, that he is not doing right, that his policies are not working. They do that. And that's what happens in all free societies that Emerson Mnangagwa claim to be in Zimbabwe. But people are arrested in Zimbabwe for those things, and people are not arrested for saying the very same words in other countries. Even in our neighbor in South Africa, Cyril Ramaphosa faces serious criticism from everyone, from the youth, from the opposition, but nobody gets arrested. Nobody has ever gotten arrested for criticizing the government in other countries, in Botswana, in Zambia, in Malawi, countries that are around us. But in Zimbabwe, it's now criminal to just tell the government that we want food, we need affordable education. It's not right, and we cannot allow something like that to happen. But as we finish, as we round up, I'll give time to Advocate Masiye to just say your last words to the situation in Zimbabwe, especially with Mako, awaiting sentence on Tuesday.
Yes, Chief. I still believe that justice at the end of the day will be seen, and I believe Marco too has got competent lawyers that are representing him, and if this case is given another eye in the High Court, I believe too that the High Court will probably find a different view. And I would like to urge all the youths out there who are witnessing this, that this is not only happening, to Marco, or this will only happen to Marco. It's happening to everyone. And the government wants to arrest the future, because the future is within grasp. And the youth in Zimbabwe are coming up and realizing that they have to act. And we have to take a cue from Marco that this is how it's done. You need to go out there and and criticize and make your views heard. And we want this to happen from today until Marco's sentencing. That every youth should come out there, talk about what's happening, criticize all this thing, and it should go beyond even the time that Marco is sentenced, because we need people to speak out. And if people don't speak out, then all this will continue to recur, and we don't want this to recur. So my last words are to urge everyone to please, support Marco, and to please go out there and please speak out on the violations that are happening to Zimbabwe. Thank you, Chief.
Sorry, Leader Barbara, I was on mute. Please just round us up and say your last words.
Okay. Thank you so much, Chief. My last words are for it's a call. It's a call to all Zimbabweans to go out there and support Mako. Mako is not fighting for MDC Alliance, but is fighting for everyone. Asihambenini siphumeni ngobunengi mbuli yeZimbabwe mthwakazi omuhle asikhambeni ecourt siye supporta uMako ukwenzela ukuthi phela angagwetshwa ngoba uMako kasosigebenga hande itese tinotsigira Makomborero musi wechipiri nokuti Makomborero haizi mhondi, Makomborero haana mhosva. Ndinotenda Chief Svosve. Thank you so much, our viewers and listeners. Goodbye.
Thank you so much, Leader Barbara. Thank you so much, Advocate Masiye, and also Chenai, who was with us a while ago. And thank you to all our viewers and listeners on Change Radio and here on Zim-I Facebook and Zim-I YouTube. We thank you for the support. But like Advocate Masiye and Leader Barbara said, let's do something about this. Let's just not talk about it. Let's all go to the magistrate court and take that court to those that are in Zimbabwe. To those that are outside Zimbabwe, there is still a lot that you can do. Please make as much noise as you can. Go on Twitter, go on Facebook, go on Instagram, do something, don't do nothing. You can also write to your members of parliament here in the United States. You can write to the Department of State. You can write to the Department of Foreign Relations, and you can also write to your representative in Congress, or anyway, you can do something in the United Kingdom. Write a letter, write letters in German, in Australia. You can still reach out to your government, reach out to organizations that have to do with human rights, reach out to all the world youth organizations that you know. Let's write to them. Let's make them aware of what is going on in Zimbabwe. It's very important. You might think that they don't read those letters, they don't read those statements. They do. And I want to urge all our communication secretaries in MDC Alliance, the United Kingdom, Australia, Middle East, Namibia, they do that very well. South Africa, let's all write and express our positions as external assemblies that we are against these arbitrary arrests. We are against the persecution of our youth leaders, not only Makomborero Haruzivishe, but also Honorable Joanna Mamumbe, Netai Marova, and Comrade Chauya. They are the two of them who are in jail right now as we are speaking. So we are celebrating Easter here in the comfort of our homes, but we have 3 youth leaders that are incarcerated, that are in jail as we are speaking. Let's remember them. Let's pray for them. But in particular, let us all pray for Makomborero Haruzivishe, who will be going for sentencing on Tuesday. His lawyer, Kosa Mnuwe, from the Zimbabwe Lawyers for Human Rights, said he's going to seek or plead for a reduced sentence. Let's all pray for that, so that this young man doesn't have to go for jail for 20 years. And we know that ZANU-PF can do that. As Advocate Masiye said, each of these counts that is being charged with carries a sentence of 10 years. The counts, just to round up to those who are just joining us, is being charged with inciting public violence, and he is also being charged, or he has already been found guilty of resisting police arrest. And these are very serious crimes that we know Mako did not commit, but he faces up to 10 years to each of these counts. But we can all come in and stand in for the gap and stand in for Makomborero Haruzivishe. Pray for him as we pray for Easter, as we celebrate Easter this holiday. Makomborero will be sentenced a day after Easter Monday. So he needs us, he needs our prayers, he needs our support. And lastly, to those in Zimbabwe, let's go to that court and pick that court, so that maybe, just maybe, we can save our young men. Thank you so much, Zimbabweans, for listening, for contributing, for everything that you are doing in the struggle. We appreciate you. We'll meet again tomorrow, same time. We'll be here on your favorite program, Padare na Chief Svosve. We'll be having other guests discussing what is going on in Zimbabwe. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Leader Barbara.